It's great to welcome Terry this afternoon. And I've not heard Terry's testimony fully, but I'm looking forward to it. And Terry's kindly agreed to come and share his testimony of how he came to faith in Christ and the difference that that's made to his life. So, Terry, welcome, okay, to start with. And why don't you introduce yourself just very briefly, where you live and just to start with so that people can get a feel for who you are, okay?
Well, my name's Terry Booth, originally from Merthyr, living in Aberdare now. And just living a free life, really.
Brilliant. We're off to a good start there, Terry, with you're living a free life. So spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Listen, can I ask you, tell us a little bit about sort of you're from Merthyr originally, did you say? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about growing up in Merthyr, sort of as a child, as a teenager, into your early adult life. What was it like for you?
Growing up in Merthyr was pretty tough, really, because obviously, if anyone knows Merthyr, it's a pretty rough place to live. And just growing up to obviously look after yourself, take care of yourself, and just look out for each other.
So what does that mean? You've got to take care of yourself. What does that mean?
Don't take no nonsense off anyone, just look after yourself,
I thought that's what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
You put it very politely there, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the message. Yeah. Sorry, go on. So
No, go on.
Tell us a bit more about that sort of growing up period in Merthyr. Some of the challenges that you faced and
Yes. Well, I'm one of 6 in my family, so it's 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And just grown up in a rugby family, really.
Okay.
Even my sister played rugby for Merthyr.
Wow.
So yeah, I had something to look forward to every Tuesday and Thursday.
Right.
That's rugby training, and that kept me busy. And then a game on Sunday.
Right.
But yeah, just played rugby for so many years.
Yeah, and then you started to get into drugs and
Yes.
So tell us how you got into that.
All right.
Are you okay me asking?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. I was around 17 because I remember my mother passing away.
Right.
And then not a month or 2 later, just went on the wrong path, just didn't care. And that's when started bothering the wrong people, started getting locked up. And then it just went on from there, really.
Right. So you've spent some time in prison. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you got deeper into drugs and deeper into trouble, and what was that journey? What was that journey like? And where did it take you? Where did you end up?
Yes. When I look back now, every time when I tell the story, it's like it's not easy being in addiction, because obviously you're always looking for that high, and obviously to get the money, to get you got to do things for the money, as in pinching off people, and burglaries, it could be anything, really. I just started going down that wrong path, going to town, fighting, and it's like when I say my testimony, it wouldn't be normal if I didn't have a fight on a Friday night and getting locked up.
Wow.
Sometimes I just go to town just for the fight.
Did
not
you
to
really?
go to, yeah, and that was my life for so many years.
And what was driving you to do that? Why you were getting a high from it all?
It was a lot of anger. Obviously, it was, when I look back now, I know it was like to do with my mother's death when I was 17 and she passed away. So just a lot of anger, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, really. And just obviously took it out on people, and just for so many years, that was in my heart, and just like looking for something, and unfortunately it was drugs.
Yeah. Found that sort of, that comfort and.
Well, it just blocked everything out, really, and
blocked everything out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where did it take you as far as your sort of lowest point? Am I okay to ask that?
Yes, fine,
Yeah,
fine.
you know,
Yes.
where was the low points for you, and what did your life look like at that sort of that period?
Yeah. Didn't look really good actually, because the lowest point was I was living in a Gurnes in my own flat, and just like remember waking up one morning or one afternoon and just looking around and just everything gone from TV to settee, just soaked everything. No gas, no electric, and I was on a mattress in my living room, and that was the lowest I had ever been.
So can I just ask you? So you didn't have mattress, TV, or anything? Is it because you had to sell things, or
Yeah, sold things for drugs, and obviously people coming in, taking them, so-called friends, And I've never been homeless because I've always like had a flat.
okay?
But that's, doesn't mean there's stuff in the flat then. It's just a shell in it.
Mm, mm.
So it's just like, yeah.
So in that place, all you had was a mattress.
All I had was a mattress in the living room. Yeah.
And how long did that sort of that life? So you were going out for drugs, were you?
Yes, going out for drugs, and boys were coming back because obviously I had a flat. So
Yeah.
they would come and use drugs with me and feed me with the drugs.
Okay.
And, you know,
So how long was that sort of life? Is it months? Is it weeks? Is it years?
yeah,
Or
months, yeah, 6 months that went on for.
right?
And then,
And then you came to a crisis point, didn't you? And you,
yeah, I finally came to that point in my life where I reached out to God, and, I asked God, even though I didn't know him, never mentioned him before, didn't realize, why he died, and just, yeah, just reached out to him, sobbing, crying, just asking me to get me out of this situation I was in.
gosh.
I know.
Yeah, it's amazing that in the middle of that, of where you were, I take it you haven't got a church background or anything like
No,
that, and
no, never went to church.
it wasn't in a conversation with anybody, or it was
I was
just
on my own. I just woke up and just finally, at my last tether, just giving up on life, and I reached out to him.
gosh,
And
gosh.
amazing.
So you prayed and you were sobbing really, and
Yeah,
asking for his help,
yeah,
and then take us through what you know.
yeah. Well, 2 days later, then after that morning, me and my mate were walking up to, well, we was on the Gurnes Road, and we bumped into Matt Harris and Lynette, that's Matt's cousin. And yeah, Matt was talking to my mate Sean, talking to him about rehab and that, which I couldn't make no eye contact or nothing because obviously I was totally broken. And but the thing is, I didn't make no eye contact, but I listened, and that was enough for him to, set that in my heart, and what can I say? Yeah, just he put in my heart,
Sow the seed into your heart. Yeah,
planted that seed,
yeah.
you know.
So just for those who are listening who don't know who Matt and Mel are, Matt and Mel are they reach out to drug addicts, to alcoholics, because they run Oasis House out of Oasis Church in Aberdare, and they were on the streets of Merthyr, and like you say, engaging with a friend of yours, but you had your ears pricked up.
I did, yes.
Yeah, and you weren't making it obvious that you were taking an interest, but it was all going in. It was all going in. Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happened? So you heard that.
Yes.
What did you hear? Sorry. What did you hear that really sparked something for you? Do you remember?
Yes, I think it was just the conversation of him telling Sean that he could be set free from everything. Wow. And just that, that was enough to plant that seed. And from then on, it was just like playing in my mind, just go for it, just do it,
Gosh.
So 2 days later, then I was in town. I was in the job centre in Merthyr, and for somehow I found Mel's number in my pocket, and I thought, right, how is this in my pocket? Because he didn't even give it to me.
Right.
So, and to this day, I don't know how it got in my pocket.
Okay.
But I phoned Mel from the job center. She explained who she was, and I just grabbed that opportunity with both hands. Obviously just the word free is good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then made contact with her.
Made
Yeah.
contact with her. Yeah, I met up a few times in Hope Church in Merthyr,
Yeah.
and yeah, just from the phone call to the time I went to rehab, I was thinking this is the best opportunity I've had in years, just to get away. And yeah, in the middle of talking to Mel, like COVID struck. And
Right.
like in fairness, I was living in the flat waiting to go to rehab, which Matt and Mel would bring food hampers up for me and just leave them on the door, give me a ring to say they left it, and just kept me going really, because it was like I said, I just gave up on life really, and that was my way out of that situation.
So they were giving you a lifeline, really, weren't
They
they?
were, they were.
Yeah. Yeah. How much of a sort of a Christian element was there in what they were sharing with you?
Well, what we do in Challenge Bar is obviously we explain who we are, and obviously we got to tell them it's Christian based,
Yeah.
and just respect it and that. But that's up to them then. As for me, it didn't bother me.
Okay.
I would have taken anything, any opportunity. But it's like you can't be that bad, really. And yeah, I just so blessed.
Brilliant.
And amazing.
Brilliant. So you had, you heard it you prayed, you made that connection with Mel, and then how long was that period then between you made the connection with Mel and then you went to rehab?
Yes,
How long
it
was that?
was like 4 months I had to wait, because I kept on having letters saying that they're not taking no one in the centre because of COVID. So
Okay.
it was like a setback.
Yeah.
But I can remember going up to the doctors one day, and they were going to put me into a secure unit in Prince Charles,
Okay.
and like God intervened, and somehow I had a conversation with Mel, and she said, obviously if you go into a place like that, we can't get you out for rehab.
Gosh.
So, and I was just about to phone him to say that I'd be up,
Gosh.
So the Lord knows what he's doing.
And what age were you at this time now? So you're
I
going back
was
to 2000-ish. How old are you?
in 2000.
Well, when this was.
Oh, right. Yeah, this happened in 2020. So 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. 2020. Sorry, it's me that said 2000. Yeah. So how old were you at 2020?
I was 42.
You were 42 then. So you've been addicted for 25 years.
23. Yeah,
23 years. Yeah, 23
yeah.
years. Oh yeah. So, Matt and Mel's sort of support during that 4 months. Okay. How valuable was that to you?
Oh, it was just so important, because obviously, it was like no one had looked after me that much, for so many years. And, you could see it was genuine care, and they were like phoning me every day to see how things was. And yeah, you could see, I could feel the love really, and just amazing people. Like,
Yeah, it's testimony to what they do and the heart they have for people who are in addiction.
Yeah.
So then you got a place in rehab. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Where was that, Terry?
That was in Teen Challenge in Willoughby House near Nottingham.
Okay.
And yeah, I can remember, because I was staying up with my mate for a few nights. On the morning, they were supposed to pick me up. I walked to my flat, and I didn't know then, but obviously I know now, it was the enemy speaking in my ear saying, "You don't need help, just stay here." Yeah, and it's like, when I look back, I think, wow, he was in my ear for so many years, telling me everything will be fine, even though I was doing wrong, and just like, but then on the other side, there was something else telling me, no, you need to do this,
Absolutely.
So I just decided that's it. Went down, opened the door, answered it, and jumped in the car and just went for it, really.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And then during that time in rehab, do you remember a specific sort of moment where, you asked Jesus to come into your life or to set you free? Or do you remember a particular moment?
Yeah, of course. Because obviously I didn't have no Christian background. I didn't know, how to do it, how to talk to God or anything. But I asked the member of staff, how do I ask the Lord to come into my life? So she explained, in the morning when we were worshiping, just put your hands in the air and ask him to, intervene and just, take him as your savior. And I'd done that, and just this overwhelming feeling, just the way I explain it is, like an explosion going off, you got the aftershock, and that came from the art, and just everything changed in me, the way I felt about myself, the way I felt about other people, all the guilt, all the shame was just gone. And I can remember walking out of the worship, and I was white because obviously it must have been the shock. The boys were asking if I was all right. But from that day, I knew something had changed, and I knew who the Lord was, and, my savior, and just haven't looked back.
It's amazing listening to you, Terry, just that, your story, and then that experience of knowing that God had done a work in you, that his power had touched you and set you free. So how long were you in rehab, and then what happened when you came out of rehab?
Yeah, I was in rehab for 11 months. And
gosh, okay. Is that normal?
Yeah, that's normal. That's how long it's for. And doors open up for you in there. It's like you don't have to go back to where you're from. You could end up as staff. There's few other places. After rehab, I decided to go to Horizon Life Training in Harrogate and Leeds.
So tell us a little bit about the ways, we can see it's written all over you that God has changed your life. Okay, that we can hear your story, we can hear your testimony. Tell us now about your life, how it's changed, and
just really every day, really, the Lord's changed my heart, and my goal now in life is to help as much people in addiction as possible, because obviously I've been there. And just like when me and Matt go out on outreach, I see my old friends, and I can see them looking at me, double take sometimes, and it's just like, they can't argue with evidence in front of you. They can say to Matt, oh, what do you know, and all that, but how they remember me is I was in addiction and only 8 stone.
Gosh.
So when I'm telling them what God has done for me, He can do it for them. It's just they got to put the work in, and that's it, really.
Yeah. And what sort of reaction do you get? From
amazing reactions, really, because it's like it's good for me too, because I'm seeing perhaps I don't see the difference, but when I get those reactions, it's encouraging for me too. And it was like, for instance, we was in Cardiff jail 2 weeks ago, and
I've heard about that.
Done a bit of a testimony, and this boy walked in, and I was in jail in Swansea jail with him in 2018, and he looked at me, and I said to him, "Can you remember me?" He said, "Wow, yes," and he said, "That's a big turnaround." And Mel, you heard him say something else and to the boys, that he wants to be like that. So,
wonderful.
Hopefully we planted that seed in him, and he wants to change,
Yeah. So, Terry, just think for a moment now that there's somebody, well, I'm hoping somebody will be watching this, but what I mean is somebody's watching this who is in that place where that you've been, okay? And they might not be in the depths of the darkness that you were in, okay? It might be that they recognize, I've got a problem here, and this is going to take me down a road that I can't control, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs. So there's that person watching this now, okay, who's never sort of heard. He was in your position in that you no background going to church, no conversations about God. God is over there somewhere. What would you say to that person now that's watching?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I done was pray to God. So I highly recommend, you reach out to God, and, even if you don't know him, get to know him, because he answers the broken people. And yeah, just reach out to him, and obviously look us up as Challenge Valleys, and make that, important phone call, before it's too late, because the time goes so quick, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what's that number? What's that number that they need to phone?
It is 07793 213377.
Okay.
And that phone is on all the time, so obviously someone will answer it, and or leave a message, and then we'll come and make an appointment with you. We'll come take you for a coffee and see where you're at, because there's obviously more than one rehab. We decide what's best for you, and and how deep you want to go, really.
Terry, it's been great listening to your story, and yours is a transformed life. It shows that the power of just that simple prayer, which was heartfelt. You really, from the depths of who you are, from the depths of your heart, it sounds to me as if you cried out to God, and he heard you, and has taken you on this journey, and you are a transformed man. You're free.
Can I just mention I'm married now, so living that happy life I've always wanted,
Gosh.
And so just reach out and just pray and ask us to come and see you, and totally change your life.
Brilliant. And it's not just a freedom, because obviously it is a freedom, but it's coming into a relationship with Jesus, and knowing who he is, and the love that he has, and gives purpose to life, and gives you security and hope for the future. So it's not just getting delivered, which is from the addiction, which is really, really important, obviously, because that's what you're looking for. But what he brings us into, it's just amazing. So lovely. Terry, thank you. Do you want to say anything else before? Anything else in your heart, or
just reach out, and we'll be waiting for that phone call, and just change the way you live. If you're struggling, and just pray. That's so important.
And your story is a drug addiction, but you help alcoholics as well, don't you? Those are
any sort of addiction.
Any sort of addiction.
Any sort of addiction.
Brilliant. Terry, thanks very much, mate. Okay. And
appreciate it.
Keep on the good work, and I'm sure that you'll see a lot more fruit with what you're doing. Okay, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Cheers. Ta-ra.